Welcome back, everybody, to episode 14 of your favorite show with me in it, Hotel Charlie. This is Dean's Dream by the Dead Milkmen. This is from the 80s. These guys are from Pennsylvania somewhere. I think it's Philadelphia. I don't know. They're a fun little punk band. I like this guy's voice. It's easy to do karaoke to. Ooh, maybe that's a foreshadow to something later. Maybe we'll end it. You guys know this song? It's a good one. I escaped from a theater to see a girl with long blonde hair. All right, maybe it's not that easy to karaoke. How are you guys doing? You guys have a good week? You do anything exciting? You still sticking to your Lent, that thing you gave up? See, the problem with Lent for me is I'm so bad at it that I have to constantly be changing what I gave up for Lent, like weeks at a time, like 1 week at a time. That way I don't feel like I'm betraying God. I'm just a little late on figuring out what I really should give up. I've completely changed from the no nicotine thing. I was going to do no beer, and then I drank beer, and then now I've decided to, instead of giving things up, I'm going to just start doing more things. So we'll see how that works out. I'm going to start with good deeds, but we'll see how long that lasts. Maybe I'll change it to something more exciting next week. But that's for God to decide, not me. That's my God sound. Hello, Harrison. I went fishing the other day. It was pretty fun. I haven't gone fishing in 7 months. I went when I was in Utah a lot back in May into the summer, but I haven't. I just recently got my fishing license in Pennsylvania, and I got it like 2 weeks ago, and I went to go fishing with my brother. We went out to this nice lake, and little did I know, and much to my chagrin, the lake was completely frozen over with ice. That's right, in Pennsylvania. I was, I'm going to do the hacky, like, I thought there was global warming. Oh no, what the heck is this? I'm not going to get into all that, but I will say it's certainly been warmer, whatever the reason may be. I don't know if it's Donald Trump's fault. I don't know if it's Justin Trudeau's fault. I don't know who's the chancellor in charge of the weather. But I wasn't expecting an entire lake. A big lake. It's not a pond. It's not a tiny pond. It's a lake, not a river. This big lake froze over. So I went out with my fishing pole. I spent all my life savings, the rest of my money on a fishing license. I even brought a bucket and a knife. And I couldn't fish because it was so frozen over. But I went fishing 2 days ago with my nice girlfriend. She was just there to watch. She doesn't have her license, and I'm not one to get in trouble with the law, so she just sat there and watched, skip rocks, scared all the fish away, whatever, fine. But I had no luck catching anything. Anyway, I've thought this before. Anytime you go on a hike or you go fishing, everyone you bump into is just friendly. Like, you'd like to think that everyone's friendly, right? Oh, I'm going to go to Walmart. I'll hold this door open for this fat lady behind me. She'll probably say, "Thank you, skinny young man," but she never does. But if you want compliments, if you want nice interactions with people, back like it was the 50s again, you can go on a hike or you can go fishing. Everyone who bumps into you will go, "Hey, how's you catch anything yet? Oh, how's the hike going? Oh, watch out, there's a dangerous part of the trail up there." Everyone's looking out for the other guy. It's like when you drive on the highway and the guy gives you the signal, like a high beam signal that the cops are on the other side of the road. You're like, "Hey, my man, I didn't know that was still around, but it's nice to know people are still being polite and warning me when the pigs are around," right? Yeah, wish someone did that to me 2 months ago and I got pulled over for speeding. Oh, barely. I was in a hurry. Anyway, so I went fishing, and when I was leaving the parking lot, after having caught no fish, I bumped into a guy, an African man. And I'm not just saying the black guy, he's African. I mean, he's actually African. He was a black guy, but he was talking to me, and he had the African accent. And he was like, "Hey, how was your fishing?" I said, "It was great. I didn't catch anything, but, I had a fun time doing it. And there's no greater journey at the tavern than the journey there too, as they say." So I said I had fun no matter what. And then he told me a couple tips, which I felt uncomfortable about because I'm like, "You're exactly right to give me tips because I'm an idiot. But I don't want you to know that I don't know what I'm doing. So let's just pretend like I just had an off day and nobody caught any fish anywhere. And it's not just because I'm stupid. It's because the fish ain't biting and we got girls throwing rocks in the river." He told me, though, like, "Oh, yeah, I came here a couple weeks ago and I was going ice fishing. And I brought the rock and I carved into the ice and I was fishing." And he said that it wasn't trouble because he lived in Alaska when he was in the military. So then I asked him, obviously what you would ask a guy who went fishing in Alaska. You were in the military. Have you ever killed anybody? That made it real uncomfortable, and I don't even want to say what he said next because it might get me into a lot of legal trouble with World War III on the horizon. I don't even want to get into all that. Another thing I did was I watched the new Plankton movie. That was really fun. Oh, that's loud, huh? All right, let's get rid of that. Before we get into that, though, let's crack open our sponsor of today's episode, Miller Lite. When you need a Miller, have a Miller Lite. That's what they say. Oh, also, by the way, if you want to subscribe, that would mean a lot to me. Click the subscribe button down below because, everybody, when we hit 2 million subscribers, I'm doing a giveaway. Whoop, whoop. That's right. I'm doing a giveaway when we hit 2 million subscribers. So everyone, go down in the description, click on jump on 3, whatever you want to do. You don't even have to watch the videos, just subscribe. I mean, you can watch them. Go to work and put them on your boss's computer, let them play overnight in a separate tab in another internet browser he doesn't even know you downloaded for him. Let them play in the playlist on repeat. Genius. I actually don't know if I'm allowed to say that. I'm so scared of the YouTube rules. Am I allowed to drink on YouTube? Even if my law officer, even if my judge, my judicial system. I'm sorry for how often I burp in this show and throw up in my mouth, but I don't tell you how often that happens, but it just happened now. Even though my judicial system tells me I'm not allowed to drink, I'm going to do it because it's for a show. This is O'Doul's in a Miller Lite can. Oh, yeah. That's good. I watched the Plankton movie. I went in with high hopes. I'm going to be honest with you. I know it's a SpongeBob movie. I know it's a kid's movie, but I've always loved Plankton. I think I do a fun Plankton impression when I'm hanging out with my nieces and nephews and they love SpongeBob. I always hide behind a corner and I go, Crabs. I mean, that's pretty good. I will steal the Krabby Patty formula. That's pretty good. For a layman, for just a guy, an amateur, to do a Plankton impression, that's pretty good, I thought. So I've always been a big fan of Plankton. I've always collected Plankton memorabilia. I love his little Lego piece. It's just like a single little circle. I always thought that was cool. So Plankton's always been cool to me. So when I heard that he was going to have his own movie, I was ecstatic. I was so excited. It was kind of upsetting it didn't have a theatrical release, but I have a Netflix account and it was coming out straight to Netflix. So I made sure to wake up early. I think it was Saturday morning it came out. I woke up early the other day and I sat down and watched the show, the movie. Let me tell you this. I was going in, I guess you shouldn't set your expectations too high, but I was really expecting a lot more from the Nickelodeon team with this Plankton film. It was going to explore the backstory of Plankton and Karen. It was going to have SpongeBob and it was going to have love. It was going to have laughs. It was going to have, Plankton. It was about Plankton and Karen getting a divorce almost. It's tugging at my heartstrings. This is a couple I've grown up with. They're practically family. I've seen them almost every day of my life. And now all of a sudden, there's trouble in paradise. There's trouble at the Chum Bucket. So I don't know what to think, but I figured I'd give myself an emotional roller coaster and watch the movie. Yeah, that movie stunk. The animation was weird. The jokes fell flat. Plankton just came off as a jerk the whole time. Karen's whole thing was that Karen loses her ability to sympathize and she turns into a real bitch, to be quite honest with you. Do I have a censor button here? I don't want to swear in front of the kids. I feel like I do have a censor. Karen turned into a real, you know what I'm going to say. She turned into a real... That's right. So that was a waste of time. Karen turned into a real bitch, which I hated to see because she's another one of my favorite characters. Played by Tom Kenny's wife, I believe. She was on Mr. Show and whatnot. Great show. And it was just hard to watch. And I know sometimes like art's supposed to make you uncomfortable, but this was just one that I wanted to sit back and just have a nice laugh, maybe eat some popcorn, have a cup of coffee, have a nice scone for breakfast and watch the Plankton movie. And it just stunk. And I hate to think of what the children who are now watching SpongeBob are going to think of that movie. Because we got to have as kids, I'm 23, we got to have the SpongeBob movie. You know what I mean? When they go to Shell City and Scarlett Johansson's in it, and it's the same sort of animation, although it's a little cleaner. You can tell it's a little cleaner from then on from the show on. The animation style is a little different from the movie onward. But that movie's awesome, and I watched it a couple weeks ago with Colin, and we both agreed. I mean, this is cinema. This is cinema. That's what we said. This is a film. This isn't just a movie. This is a picture. I'm going into high hopes to the Plankton movie. I am let down like you wouldn't believe. That movie stunk. And that's upsetting. I'm a big fan of Mr. Lawrence, but I don't know. I put it on Letterboxd and everything. I mean, like, it was just a sham. It was a shame how much of a sham it was. It was shameful. So that's all right. But please go check it out. Another one of our sponsors this week is Netflix. So we don't want to, you better see for yourself. Even if it's bad, you better go on to Netflix, sign into your account, use my login code, or use promo code Charlie for a free month and watch the Plankton movie and tell me for yourself how you felt about the new SpongeBob rendition. Nah? All right, let's get into the show. I have a question about social media. Can I ask you? I have a question about social media. You guys are young. You're probably 25 to 30, probably 16 to 24, whatever your age range may be. You've got Instagram, you've got Snapchat, you've got Facebook, you got TikTok, you got Twitter. You're friends with some questionable people on this app. You might go to high school with them and not really be close with them, but you're interested in seeing what they post because they deal drugs and they do drugs. And you're kind of curious, what is a guy who does that and make his whole personality like, oh, I love drugs and I sell drugs and I have expensive cars and I've shot guns sideways. And you're like, okay, stay away from me, but I will keep a safe distance and follow you on Instagram where you can't hurt me. Or maybe you're graduated high school and you follow people that you graduated with or they dropped out shortly before your final high school semester, but you still like to keep tabs on what they're doing because you're an interested person like me. You like to see what people that you think you're better than are doing. I have a couple people like this. They don't all deal drugs. That's just painting a picture for you. My question is to people who post pictures of themselves and their car. When you black out your license plate in a picture, can you please explain to me what life is like for you? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? The people who post a picture with them in their car and they black out their license plate. Can you explain to me, would one of you like to comment below and explain why you're doing that? Because if you're so naive and silly and stupid to think that I can just take your license plate and Google it, and now I just have your address. Do you think that that's how it works? It's not. You can't do that. You need to file a police report with that person's license plate, and then the police will be able to tell you where that person lives, and they won't even tell you that. But the only people that have access to that information are police officers, and they're only accessing it, and they're only allowed to access it if they commit a crime. So I'd like to know what life is like for these people. Are they so scared that people are going to shoot them in the street if they find out where they live? If that's the case, my friend, you might want to delete Instagram and stop posting pictures of you outside your house. You don't blur out your house. Oh, I better blur out my life. My God. You don't blur out your house. Oh, I better blur out my license plate. That way people don't know where I live. It's like, well, the picture is you in front of your house. Or it's you at the gas station down the road, and it only takes a matter of time before someone who wants to kill you is sitting outside that gas station waiting for your bright red Mustang to pull up. You bought a car. You need a car like Walter White, the Pontiac Aztek, the tan one with a busted front windshield to just blend in. If you're dealing drugs and you don't want anyone on your case, maybe you shouldn't have such a flashy car for an 18-year-old. Oh, doesn't that car cost $80,000? Oh, yeah, it does, but I paid with it with illicit funds. Oh, okay, that doesn't raise any red flags to anyone else who's 18 and working and makes maybe $13 an hour. So please explain to me what life is like for you. Are you constantly turning around, looking over your shoulder every time you're at the shopping mall and you're worried someone's going to kill you? Oh, I better put a disguise on because if someone sees my face, they'll recognize it's me. That's what you might as well do. Oh, I better cover up my license plate in case someone tracks down where I live. That's not allowed to happen. I have a thing about body cams, by the way. That's the whole point of that. Just, you guys know what I'm talking about. Isn't that weird? I think what my second point of that, actually, before we get into body cams, is having said that, we're all on the same page, right? That's stupid. There's nothing you can do with someone's license plate. You all know my license plate. I said at episode 1 of the show, it's literally Mrs. 69. That was a good gag. It's true, though. It's true that is my license plate. All I ask of you now as the audience is, can we make fun of these people? Can we shame them into being embarrassed? I think a fun thing to do with people who think they're hot shit is embarrass them. Embarrass these people because they're like, look, do drugs or whatever you want. But we all know the kind of person I'm talking about who, like, drugs in high school was like their thing. Like, oh yeah, dude, I love smoking weed. I always post videos of me smoking weed on Snapchat. It's kind of badass. It's like, I know you think that that's badass. That's so cool you're doing something illegal. You shouldn't be showing people that. You look like an idiot because all the people who think that's cool are also degenerates and idiots. All the people you would like to impress, like the cool guys like me, look at that and just go, what a shame. You could have just made a song parody or made your own podcast and I would have thought you were cool, but instead you had to just do drugs on Instagram. Oh, what a badass. Oh, you smoke weed. How cool. It's not like it's practically illegal everywhere. You know how annoying it would be? I mean, this is a little different. I'm having fun on a show. It's a podcast. But if I just posted videos of me drinking beers, being like, you guys know what this is, right? It's beer. You know, if I drink enough of it, I'll get drunk. It's like, ooh, wow, how impressive, Harrison. It's not, but I will drink a little more. I mean, I'm parched here. The Partridge Family. What I want to say about body cams is something I heard from a police officer that I don't think enough people talk about. It's just, I like to think outside the box. You guys know me, right? I like to think outside the box. So maybe this is just a theory. Don't get mad at me if you disagree with this, but I think I'll make a good case here of why what I'm saying is true. Be ready to think outside the box. Everyone thinks that because police are assholes nowadays and police brutality is on the rise nowadays, we should make body cams mandatory. Okay, that'll prevent cops from doing anything, knowing that they're constantly on camera, right? From doing anything illegal. You're right. It will prevent cops from doing anything wrong against their job description. What I want you to realize, though, is more often than not, cops doing something against their job description is beneficial to you. And before you get all up in arms, no, I'm not saying police brutality is beneficial. What I'm saying is when you're driving home and you speed and you get pulled over, the cop walks up to you, you've had a couple beers. You're just barely over the legal limit. The cop comes up to you, you roll your window down, he smells it on your breath right away. You've had a couple Miller Lights.
Come on, give me that booze, you little pumpkin pie haircutted freak. Come on.
You get that cop from Dumb and Dumber. He says, have you been drinking? You tell him yes, although you should never do that. But you tell him yes because you're drunk and you're not thinking anything logically. Back before body cam mandates, if you only had one over and you're a mile away from your house, the cop would go, you know what? Just get out of here. Just go home. Get home safe. Go to bed. Don't drive anymore tonight. Or he'd say, hey, pull your car over, sleep it off, or just sober up, get some water, park in that diner, go into that diner, sober up, no more driving drunk, but just get out of here. We're not going to have a problem. That was before body cams. But now with body cams and the cops are always recording, now they have you on video saying, I'm driving drunk. And the cop is not allowed to say, get out of here, just sober up. Not because it's any more illegal than before the body cam, but now there's video of you admitting to a crime. And what's he supposed to do? Just let you go? Now he's going to get fired. So all the people that are like, oh, I hate cops, they're so strict, are also pushing for this. We need to mandate body cams. You're not realizing that you're shooting yourself in the foot And look, maybe we should have less drunk drivers. Maybe we should have less speeders. Maybe to the fullest extent of the law, anytime someone breaks the law, we should prosecute them or give them a ticket or whatever. To the fullest extent, fine. If that's the way you want it, fine. As long as it's universal, fine. But you can't on one hand be like, hey, police need to be more strict and never give anyone a pass. And then also be like, wow, police are too strict. They're never giving anyone a pass. And it's like, yeah, we were doing that before you made us record every time we were going to let you go for a stupid small little crime. Now we can't do that because our videos go back to the judge or whoever, our chief. And he sees all the times where Thompson, you let 9 people drive home drunk today? Yeah, I used to make it 25 people driving home drunk, but now I have to record every time I'm doing it. So I can't cut people some slack. That's just an interesting thing to think out of the box. I think it's one of the most interesting things I've heard from a police officer say. And he's not pro what you think body cams are for, which is police brutality. He's not saying that we should get rid of that. That way we could brutalize people. It's, hey, let's have a fun relationship with people in our neighborhood. And when I pull someone over, I don't want them to constantly associate with me with pissing them off or ruining their day or charging them $150 for a speeding ticket. I want them to think of me as the guy who gives them a break and the guy that's cool. I like cops. I like the cops, man. So maybe I'm biased, but I'm just saying, without body cams, a lot more people would be able to break the law and not just policemen. You. So that's an interesting thing I have thought about for a while. I have an important thing to talk about in today's episode. But first, we are going to take a very quick break, only about 3 seconds. All right, we're back. I told you that wasn't going to take long. Today, I want to do something we haven't done on the show in a while. I have a little presentation for you. We used to do these on the old season. Today, we're going to be talking about Hotel Charlie's top 10 women's sports. That's right. We're going to analyze women's sports and talk about my favorites. Because I am Hotel Charlie. I'm the producer. I'm the host. I'm the editor. I'm the uploader. Anyway, a lot of you might watch this show and see the jokes I make and think, there's no way this is just an exaggeration or a character or anything. This guy's probably actually sexist. He's probably actually misogynist. He probably actually hates trailer parks. He probably hates poor people. He probably loves Trump. Well, here, I'm going to show you that I'm not any of those things. I want to prove to you that I love women. And to prove that, I'm going to show you my favorite women's sport. First of all, number 10, we have basketball. You know these people, you know these women. This is, of course, Brittany Griner. She was the one in the news a couple years ago with she got screwed over at Russia with a little bit of pot. Who cares? Big whoop. We hate Russia. So let's get her back on the basketball team, everybody, right? She plays for the Mercury, or she did. This, of course, is Caitlin Clark, the biggest hot shot in the WNBA. We have other names here. Angel Reese, of course. Now, the WNBA, what I like about them is that they don't give up. They get a lot of heat. They get a lot of pressure from people online saying, hey, WNBA stinks. It's not like real basketball. You're subsidized by the NBA. It's a charity event. No. Women's basketball is interesting to watch. Look, I get it. Look, I'll certainly admit some faults with it. It would be more entertaining to see more women be able to dunk the ball. Maybe they should lower the hoops. Maybe they shouldn't. That's a question of equality. Is it offensive to say we should lower the hoops and have more women dunk? I don't know. I like it the way it is. I like watching the New York Liberty or the team from the Indiana team. And, of course, the rules of basketball are the players must get the ball in the hoop to score points. We all know this, but that's why number 10 is basketball. Before we get to number 9, I just want to clarify, this might make it seem like this is my least favorite sport. It's not. I have 100 favorite women's sports. These are the top 10. So number 10 is basketball. Whoops. Number 9 is soccer. Now, I'm posting a lot of pictures of American women, but of course, this isn't limited to America. Soccer is a universal sport. It's one of the most popular sports in not only America, but the world. Of course, here's Megan Rapinoe. This is Hope Solo. She's the American goalie. These women have won a lot of medals. They have, here, I wrote it down, they have tons of wins, which is why I like this team so much. I grew up with older siblings, older sisters who played soccer, and I was always entertained because all those players in high school had younger brothers my age. So anytime I got to go to a girls' soccer game, I got to ditch the game and hang out with my friends up by the high school where older kids hung out. So soccer holds a special place in my heart. And of course, the rules for soccer are players must get ball in net to score points. The thing that scares me, I shouldn't have said I like it, I'm kind of afraid of it, is these gloves, Hope Solo's gloves here. They make her hands look so large. I'm afraid that if she took those off, that's the size of her hand. But I'm pretty sure that that's just an illusion with the equipment. Number 8 is college softball. Now, you might be thinking, well, softball is a women's sport. You know, there's some guys in a grown-up age who might work at a grocery store or have a league where they play softball, but we all know that softball is for girls, for women, and not like, oh, softball's for girls. I'm saying like, no, hey, softball, leave that to the girls. That's more what I'm saying. Like, that's for girls, dude. Don't be 50 and play softball because you think it's easy. That's sexist. It's for women. And look at these women. They're strong. This is fresh Oklahoma, the Oklahoma Sooners, the women's softball team. This is fresh off their win in the World Series, the Women's Softball College World Series. And we'll see right here. And the rules of college softball are the players must hit ball to score points, and they must, I don't know if this means that the bases are round or that they have to round the bases. I think what I was implying here is that the players must round the bases in order to score points. That's another way to score points on the softball field. But I'm a big fan of women's softball. I had a lot of friends in high school who grew up playing softball, and it holds a special place in my heart, women's softball. And that's why women's softball is number 8. Number 7, I wouldn't be able to make a list without this woman right here. This is Florence Griffith Joyner. She is, as Wikipedia would tell you, the fastest woman in the world, which is incredible. It's an incredible feat to be known as the fastest woman in the world, and that's why we're congratulating her with her own page. She ran the 100-meter dash in record time, and this is a picture of her right here. And this is the starting pistol, like, hey, on your mark, get set, go. But even, who cares? By the time that firing pin hit that bullet, she was already at the finish line, basically. That's how fast she was, which is impressive to me. And the rules of track 100-meter dash are the players must run fastest to score points. And that's why Florence Griffith Joyner is number 7, basically all by herself, because she's the fastest woman. So that's impressive to me. Number 6 is volleyball. You, of course, have the line ref and the libero. I can't point like this. And the rules of volleyball, let's just get this out of the way. Players must keep, you all know volleyball. You guys ever play Don't Touch the Ground? Don't let it touch the ground with a balloon, an old balloon after a birthday party, and you'd use your hands to keep it up in the air when there's nothing else to do at a birthday party. You guys know the game. Well, someone decided to take that and turn it into an Olympic sport. And here is a team right here with women's volleyball. And I've had, this holds a special place in my heart. I've always had a passion for women's volleyball, and this is why they're number 6. I like the cut of this lady's jib also. I like that she's dressed kind of, I actually don't really know how to describe how she's dressed. It's just an odd choice. Just black pants, white shirt. I like her glasses, though. I like the cut of that lady's jib. And that's why women's volleyball is number 6. You'll notice, by the way, that none of the titles here have the word women's volleyball in front of them. Again, because I'm not sexist. Because to me, this is just volleyball. It'd be offensive, and I should bite my tongue every time I accidentally, Freudian slip and say women's volleyball, as if there's a difference. This just happens to have women on the team. This is a college team right here. Of course, a nice group of gals there. I don't think in the game every player's allowed to have a ball. That's one thing that kind of confuses me about this picture. I'm pretty sure that there's only one ball on the court allowed at a time. That might just be a photo thing. But that's why volleyball is number 6 on this list. Number 5, now this one kind of comes out of left field. This is where I get a little biased. I've always loved ping pong. When I grew up, my grandfather had a ping pong table, and he and I would spend countless days hitting that paddle across the board table tennis, as it's called, and ping pong colloquially, we all know. And the rule of this, of course, is that players must hit the ball with paddle to score points. This is a woman here. I think, I don't know if Christian Martinez must be the photographer. That's what it says there. This is a young woman, I believe, is an Olympic athlete, hitting the ball. The point of it is you hit the ball onto the other side of the net. It's basically tennis, but on a table. Think about it like that. I guess the guy that named it kind of already did all the hard stuff. He came up with a perfect name. But you all know table tennis, right? You played it on Wii Sports. Table tennis is number 5 on this list. Hello? Oh, I forgot. Other features of this game include a net. Here we go. Number 4 is beach volleyball. Now, I said earlier I appreciate volleyball. That was number 6 on my list. But beach volleyball is a little different than regular volleyball because this game only has... This game only has 2 people, and it's 2v2, and you're playing on a beach instead of in a gym. But this is an Olympic-level sport. See, like right here, like regular volleyball, but on sand. And then if you want to remember, see regular volleyball is on slide 6, if you guys want to rewind if you forgot the rules. But this is, of course, a women's team volleyball, and... women's volleyball is women's beach volleyball. Sorry, not women's volleyball. Sorry. Beach volleyball is number 4 on the Hotel Charlie list of best top 10 female sports. Number 3 is the UFC. Now, I've been doing a lot of team sports, but I really get a kick, no pun intended, out of, single, one-on-one sports. That's why I like ping pong. Table tennis. That's why I like the UFC, because people like Amanda Nunes come in there and they're the whole team. Yeah, they've got a manager. Yeah, they've got a guy, spraying a bendy straw water bottle in her face during the fight, putting Vaseline over her cut so her fucking head doesn't fall open. Sure, there's a couple people involved, but Amanda Nunes is the heart and soul of the Amanda Nunes team. And I like seeing her kick the shit out of another lady. Not that I like seeing women get hurt, but it's a Sophie's choice with watching women's UFC. I'll acknowledge it. I shouldn't say women's UFC, just regular UFC, because yes, unfortunately there is a woman getting the crap beaten out of her, but there's also a woman winning, which is it's tough. I don't know whether to be sad or be happy for the women or the other woman. This is, of course, another UFC fighter. She's holding the championship belt. And the rules for this game are simple. Players must hit and attack opponents to score points. They do a couple rounds of this, a couple 5-minute rounds, and by the end of it, whoever has the most points goes home with this belt right here. Number 2 for the Hotel Charlie women's sports is mud wrestling. Now, I didn't say all these were going to be Olympic sports, but wrestling is a sport. We wouldn't deny it. And we're big fans of when a woman goes onto the men's wrestling team. That's always something cool to see. You're always like, hey, you know what? I'm proud of her. It's cool to see a woman do that. It's like when you see a girl be the punter on a football team. It's always kind of like, yeah, maybe at first you go, whoa, get her off the field. Who does she think she is? But then you take a step back and you go, what? You know what? She's actually not so bad, huh? So then you're thinking this, right? I know what your first instinct is when you think of mud wrestling. You're going, women wrestling? Oh, geez, that's for men only. Well, guess what? You're sexist, because when you add a little mud or maybe even KY jelly, some power lubricant here, and a baby pool, now all the men are all for it. But I'm not in it because of a sexual, weird, perverted thing where a man wants to watch a woman get covered in mud. I think that this is pure athleticism. This woman, sure, let's as much, you can't really make out a lot of her details of her body, but I can tell you just from looking at the screen, she doesn't have the athletic body that we all have come to be used to. We're all used to a slim 6-pack abs on a girl who's going to beat someone up, like Amanda Nunes, of course. Look at her. She's ripped. So then you get a real porker like this lady, and you go, she's not going to be athletic. And then you forget, there's sports like wrestling where having a major weight advantage over your opponent is actually very helpful. And then you get the mud involved, and it prevents the opponents from being able to, really straddle on or put her in a full Nelson. So, and it also kind of, handicaps her Even though her weight is such an advantage because of her size, she's also handicapped because that mud's not just slippery for her opponent, it's slippery for her too. She's even got it in her teeth. It's hard to see there, but it's true. She's got it in her teeth. And that's why mud wrestling, or KY jelly wrestling, is number 2 on the Harrison Brinker Hotel Charlie list of women's sports. Yeah, you all know what comes after number 2, right? Number 1. Are you excited? Are you excited for number 1? Number 1 women's sport. You know there's one that we haven't named yet. So are you all excited? Make your votes in the comments below what number 1 women's sport is going to be. Ooh, should we do some sort of drum roll? This is the closest thing I have to a drum roll sound. Number 1 sport. As listed by Hotel Charlie, the number 1 women's sport is bikini car wash, everybody. That's right, the bikini car wash. You have ladies in scantily clad clothes. Maybe they're wearing bikinis. Maybe they're wearing short shorts. All I know is this lady's got a fireman hose, and I'm burning up. All right, so she's going to grab this sponge. She's going to make it all sudsy. There's my car over there. I just pull in. I go, ladies, I just came back from a mud wrestling tournament. I need a real fixer-upper on this Honda Sonata. And then you go, oh, we got you. It'll be a couple bucks. Sure, you got to give them a couple bucks. That's you buying the ticket. And the women are working out. They're working out not just the dirt and the grime in your car, but they're also doing stretches, and they're also reaching over places, and they're extending their muscles to reach into hard to reach places. So it certainly takes it. Look at the shape these women are in. If that doesn't look like an athletic bod to you, then you're just sorely mistaken, sir. You're Trace McSorley mistaken. I shouldn't have even said Trace McSorley's name. We should only be talking about female athletes on this episode, in this segment. But that's why bikini car wash, to me, is the number 1 female sport, because it goes under the radar. It's underrated. Not a lot of people would think about that in even an athletic way, or maybe even think about doing it at all. But I say, you know what, ladies, your sorority needs to save some money for some sort of cancer benefit. I'm your guy. I've got 1 car. I will drive it through the plateaus of Nevada if it means you guys get to save a little kid's life. And sure, maybe I'll get to have a little fun too. So everybody wins, basically, which is why I think bikini car wash is the number 1 sport, because unlike any other sport, even the audience gets a win. So that's fun. And that's Harrison Brinker. We should have had this. I should have remade this. That's why those are my 10 top women's sports. Thank you, everybody, for joining that segment. We'll be back in just a sec. All right, everybody, we're back. Did you like that segment? I hope so. I put a lot of time and effort into that. The only regret is that I should have put the title card at the end of the slideshow, so I didn't have to backtrack all the way through that. But, you know, you live and you learn. I should have fixed my hair while the camera was off. Let's fix it right now. Oh, I'm just going to tuck it back there. Get my bobby pin out and tuck it in. All right. Do you guys know Subway? Subway sandwiches. Jared Fogle obviously had that whole scandal a couple years ago. I think that was like 7 years ago. We should be moving on from that. I don't know why I brought that up. Well, they always had that $5 foot long. Remember? February any 5. Anyway, we always had the $5 foot long. We all knew, we all loved. At Subway, you could get a sub for $5. It's a deal of a century, and it only lasted a couple years. Well, they brought back, with inflation, they brought back a Subway foot long. But if you use the code 699FL, you can get a Subway $5 foot long for $6.99, which, if you ask me, is a good deal. And it says at the bottom, I don't know if you can read this, but it says that you can get any toppings you want on it and in limited quantities, which is great because it's only $6.99. Now, what that reminds me of is an idea I had for a product. Hi, sharks. We all know the $5 footlong, right? Well, they've upped the price to $6.99 recently on the app as a deal. Well, I'm a fan of deals because I'm a fan of saving money. We all know that inflation has hit the country hard as of late, and anywhere you look, toilet paper, Lysol, all these things are, what? Expensive. That's right. Well, here comes Subway with a $6.99 footlong deal where you can get anything you want on your sandwich. And Sharks, do I have an idea for you? My idea, Sharks, is I'm going to go into participating Subway sandwich shops, ordering nothing but raw eggs on my sandwich, still in their protective shell. I'm going to order a foot long. An egg we all know is just about an inch wide. I should be able to fit 1 dozen eggs on the entire foot long. My plan after this, you go, Harrison, what are you going to do with all these eggs? Well, I'm going to take packaging. I'm going to take egg cartons that I get out of the trash or by any sort of means. Hang on, let me start the music over here before I get into it. Okay, I'm going to take egg cartons out of the trash. I'm going to take the dozen eggs I get off my $6.99 footlong, and I'm going to sell them back at a profit. A reduced rate from the eggs we're used to, $14 a dozen. That's outlandish. Well, if you come to Harrison Brinker's egg store, I buy them for $6.99 from Subway. I sell them to you at only $2 more, $8.99 for a dozen, which is cheaper than where you'll get it in the store. I'm making a profit. You Sharks are making a profit with me, depending on how much of the equity you want in my egg store. And we make $1 billion. And guess what? Everybody's happy except for, I don't know, maybe the government fat cats who keep raising the egg prices, those bastards. Who cares? Those people are already rich. This is going to be the deal of a century, Sharks. Kevin, I'm looking at you. Mark, I'm looking at you. Lori, I'm looking at you. So that's pretty much my idea. Buying footlong subs with eggs on them and then selling the eggs back at a profit. And then you're going, hey, what are you going to do with all the extra bread? Oh, I don't know. Maybe eat it because I'm hungry after all my hard work. And you know what? Mark, you can have one too. So what do you guys think, Sharks? What do you guys think at home? Is that not a genius scam to pull? I mean, I don't know if what they mean is unlimited any topping you want. Gas prices are also high. Is it possible to get a gallon of gas on my sub and then sell that back also for a profit? The possibilities here are honestly endless. This is a loophole that the Subway Foundation didn't even see coming when they came up with this deal. But luckily, as I mentioned early on in the episode, I think outside of the box. So whoever came up with this deal didn't perceive a guy like me coming in and making a bunch of money. Well, I'm ready to make a bunch of money, and I'm ready with you guys to donate to me so I can have my egg store come true. Did you guys think that was a good idea? There's a couple things about Shark Tank that I wanted to talk about. First of all, Mark Cuban, the billionaire, bought a town in Texas called Mustang, Texas. It's this bullshit, boring town. No offense if you're there. But he bought it for an undisclosed amount of money. And he made his friend the mayor. Everything that evil billionaires are everything that your liberal friends claim that evil billionaires do, Mark Cuban just bought a town and just made his buddy from high school the mayor. Is that allowed? Technically, yeah. Should we be mad about it? I don't know. You seem to be mad at everything else. Why not mad at that? He's not qualified, probably. But he bought this town, and I saw in a news report that he wanted to turn it into a dinosaur fun park, like Jurassic Park, basically, and take a Shark Tank concept he had where this guy sold a bunch of dinosaur animatronics. He wanted to take all the animatronics. I'm assuming he couldn't sell them anywhere because who the hell needs a big, huge dinosaur, or who needs more than one? Hey, we got our first client for the dinosaur stuff. Okay, when are they going to buy another one? Oh, they won't. Why would anyone need more than one huge T-Rex in their backyard? Oh, yeah, shit. I didn't think about that when I came up with my idea for dinosaurs. Whatever. I'm just saying, Mark, if you're going to invest in that, can you invest in my egg idea? It's genius. Gotta fix my hair here. Woo! I guess I can still talk when my headphones are off. So he wanted to turn this town into Dinosaur, Texas, and I thought that was one of the stupidest ideas I have ever heard in my life. And then before the show, I Googled it, and it turns out that he did plan to do that, but then took it back and said, no, I'm not going to do that, which is fine with me. I mean, I'm not here to break the news story. I'm just telling you, I knew that was a bad idea before even a billionaire like stupid old Mark Cuban knew. Anyway, is he even from Cuba? Probably not. I have another thing about another shark, and his name is Kevin O'Leary. I'm going to preface this segment with I don't have the right video to show you, but just watch this. I mean, the video's right, but the one I originally saw was on Instagram, and I wanted to talk to you about the comments I saw, but I can't find the Instagram comments, so you're just going to have to trust me when I tell you what I saw. Okay, this is a clip from Seth Meyers with Connor O'Malley. We all know Connor O'Malley. We all love him. He was on I Think You Should Leave. He's a comedian. He's funny. He's married to A.D. Bryant from Saturday Night Live fame. Let's watch this clip. He was on Seth Rogen.
A Shark Tank idea?
Yeah, I'm trying to get up in front of those ghouls at Shark Tank. Everyone but Mr. Cuban. You're cool, man. And Lori. She's cool. Lori's cool. Lori's beautiful.
Okay, bear with me.
And the real estate one, I forgot her name. She's cool.
Barbara Corcoran.
What's that? Barbara, thank you very much. And please eject the people that spoke.
I should have fast forwarded. But this is funny. Fine. Just watch this guy instead of me.
Yeah. He's scary, but I'll tell you, I love his music.
I just screamed right over. Here, watch
wonderful.
This. Yeah. So he's talking about all the sharks, and he gets to Kevin O'Leary, a.k.a.
And Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah.
He's scary, but I'll tell you, I love his music.
Okay. So I feel like I asked what your idea.
That was the whole joke. Let's hear that again, Mr. Wonderful.
And Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah.
He's scary, but I'll tell you, I love his music.
Okay. So.
And then no one really laughs, and he kind of makes this face.
I feel like
Here's what I wanted to talk to you about. That's a funny joke from Connor O'Malley. We all know him. He's kind of a goofball. Connor O'Malley's a goof. He's always saying something outlandish. So he says, Mr. Wonderful, I like him. He's scary, but I like his music. Now, the thing that I previously mentioned is I don't have the right video. But when I saw that clip on Instagram, a lot of the comments said this. I can't believe he got Mr. Wonderful confused with Mr. Worldwide, Pitbull, because he said, I love his music, and he called him Mr. Wonderful, which must mean that he thinks Mr. Wonderful is actually Mr. Worldwide, and when he said I love his music, he's actually talking about Pitbull's raps. There was more than one person who commented this. Can't believe no one laughed at his Mr. Worldwide Pitbull joke. And then people commented back saying, oh, I didn't know that's what he meant. And they go, no, that's what he meant. Just nobody got it. Here's what pisses me off about that. Sorry. Should have had this pulled up before. Should have had this pulled up before.
Randy Bachman is a legend in the world of rock and roll. Singer Randy Bachman.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Started when I was full of.
All right, so here's Mr. Wonderful and the guy from Bachman Turner Overdrive about to jam out on the news, right? I hope so, because I literally just clicked the first video I saw of Mr. Wonderful playing the guitar. Whatever. The thing that made me mad about those comments is people just didn't know that Kevin O'Leary plays guitar. So when Connor O'Malley is saying, oh, Mr. Wonderful's scary, but I like his music, he's mocking Kevin O'Leary for being bad at guitar because he posts these clips of him playing the bass or playing the acoustic guitar and he sucks. I'll find one for you, even if I have to pause it and cut the crap out.
Megan O'Leary's stage for a little blues jam.
Connor O'Malley's joke is saying Kevin O'Leary stinks at the guitar. Oh, he's scary, but I like his music. But then people heard that, didn't know that Kevin O'Leary plays guitar, and then go, classic Connor O'Malley, he's talking about Mr. Worldwide. What a genius joke.
In his 53 years in the music industry, Randy Bachman has played with just about every guitar great of the rock era, but there is one Axeman he hasn't shared liner notes with.
That's right, Kevin O'Leary.
So stay with us. We're going to be back with more, but first, here are Randy Bachman and Kevin O'Leary Unplugged.
They're not unplugged. The whole point of Unplugged is being unplugged. They're plugged. That's not Kevin O'Leary. That's the other guy. Anyway, you can hear the background. Anyway, you don't need to see more than that. My point is, when Connor O'Malley says he likes Kevin O'Leary's music, he's talking about Kevin O'Leary playing guitar and being bad at it. But all the tards in the comments go, oh, I'm so smart, I'm so quirky, I bet I get Connor's sense of humor. He's talking about Mr. Worldwide. No, he's not. And that wouldn't even be a bad joke, but that is not what he was saying. And if Connor wants to comment, Connor O'Malley, if you want to come on the show, please do. We'll gladly have you clear the air with this whole thing. But I just want to prove to you, I got your joke, Connor. And there was no one in the comments defending him and saying, guys, I think you got the whole Mr. Worldwide thing mixed up. Kevin O'Leary plays guitar. So when he said the music thing, he's talking about that. But here I am on the show explaining it to you guys at home who probably didn't even see the video and have no idea what I'm talking about. You just have to trust me that I was annoyed for a justifiable reason. Right? Here's something I don't understand about science. Did you notice at the beginning of this episode that there was ice in this glass? I barely touched it. I didn't chew on the ice, but the ice has melted into my glass. I have a science question. And I'm not joking, but I want to learn, but I'm not being facetious about this comment. When people say that the melting ice caps is leading to the ocean level rising, can someone please explain to me how the ice melting into the ocean is making ocean levels rise? For example, if you have water with ice in it, when the ice melts, the water level stays the same because of water displacement or whatever. So how is the melting ice caps raising the sea level that much? Before you yell at me for being an idiot, I'd like to say I understand the concept of ice not being underwater, melting and falling into the water, and of course raising it, as if I had a full glass of water and then dropped a bunch of ice cubes into it. Yeah, it's going to overflow. I get it. I also heard someone online say, because I've looked this up before, I've been plagued with this question for like 4 years now. Every engineer I ask about it doesn't want to go anywhere near it because they don't know the answer either, I imagine. But they just know, what are you, stupid? I go, I guess I'm stupid. Can you explain to me why I'm stupid? And they go, it's just because it melts. I go, okay, that's my whole problem, but I guess that must be the answer. I've also heard that the higher water temperatures, because of rising temperatures, the water that is melted, when it gets higher temperatures, the level just rises because the atoms are farther apart. Sure. There's a lot of water in the world, so it's possible that that would cause the water levels to rise. But the thing about the ice melting is, like, when you say an iceberg's going to melt, it's like, I know you're imagining the ice above the water melting and falling in, but the iceberg is like, you know, the iceberg theory or whatever it's called. Like, you think, here's the water level, the iceberg sticks up that much, but underneath the water is like a Empire State Building underneath. So I don't have a feeling that this much ice is going to really raise the level when it's already got this much ice underneath it that's already raising the level. And it's floating on the ice, on the water, so the water level's already risen. Please don't call me stupid. I want to learn, but no one's given me an answer to that question. How is the water level going to rise because of that? That's everything I hear if I'm in college, if I'm wherever. Melting ice caps is causing the water level to rise. And I say, I don't buy it. As of now, I don't buy it. I'm not saying the water level isn't rising. I'm saying I don't believe that it's because of that. But I'm willing to learn, and I'm willing to change my mind about it. But I just don't fathom it right now because I've got ice in my hand and it melted. And here, look, it's all the way down here. So how can it rise if it's only halfway up to the glass? Right? Okay. I saw a video the other day of a young Hispanic guy. We all are aware of Hispanic people and how they can grow mustaches before anybody else we know, right? I saw a video the other day of a young Hispanic man with a little bit of facial fuzz on his chin here, but it wasn't full enough for him. So you know what he did? He took I don't even know the names of these utensils, but a makeup pencil and drew around where he wanted his beard to be. And then he used like a mascara thing. I think that's what that is. And then fluffed up his hair and then filled in with marker and other makeup the beard so it didn't look so empty. And then posted a picture of himself like with a full mustache and beard. And I just want to know why we're not making fun of that guy. Because that's gay? And I'm saying, like, I mean that in the sense of that's a straight guy doing something a gay guy would do. There's nothing wrong with being gay. But isn't it weird for a straight guy to do gay things? You know what I mean? Like, the biggest example of all, having sex with another man. Like, if there was a guy who was like, I'm straight, but I like having sex with men, it's like, well, then you're gay. And if you're not gay, then we should be allowed to make fun of you for doing gay stuff. I think. For example, using makeup to make yourself look prettier is gay. And you might be looking at me and going, Harrison, you can't really grow a beard. You should shave. I go, I got you. I'm not trying to show off to anybody. But I think it'd be weirder if I tried to constantly like upkeep my face and make myself look pretty. There's women I know who have gone, Harrison, your eyebrows could be beautiful. They're nice and thick, but you just need to pluck them. And I go, you're not going anywhere near my eyebrows. Because being pretty is not what a guy should be doing. I am all for a woman plucking her eyebrows, although I don't really see the appeal, but I do it whatever you want. You want to be the pretty gender, fine. Do whatever you think makes yourself pretty. But you don't need to do that to me. I'm a guy. I don't shave my legs, but it's not because it's like, it's cooler for guys to have leg hair. It's actually cool. It's like, no, it's just because we're a mess. And we get spaghetti sauce on our shirt, and we get boogers in our nose, and we get earwax in our ears. We get pimples on our backs. But that's just guys. We're gross. We like to run around in the forest, start fires, and smell like smoke. We drink poison wheat. We drink whiskey. And we like to be disgusting. So the idea of a guy being like, oh, I got my facial hair. I was going to do the voice, but I won't do that. I've already said enough offensive things. I've got my facial hair. No, that sounds like I'm going to do a gay voice. I'll just do my voice. I've got my facial hair. I'm going to use makeup to make it look better. It's like, dude, don't do that. Just take what you can get. You're 16 years old. You'll be fine in 6 years. You're Hispanic. You'll have a full beard by the time you're 19. Trust me. I just want to make fun of these people. And I think maybe that's what I want to do for Lent. I think for Lent, my New Year's resolution is going to be making fun of people who deserve it, at least. And for example, that's a guy that I thought deserved it, is that guy with the facial hair. Oh, I saw something else. This is actually a quick one. I saw a clip of the Impractical Jokers, and Q is talking to this guy in the store. And this guy in the store goes, oh, I'm actually a superhuman athlete from the 70s in New York. Yeah, check me out on YouTube. And then Sal comes in, and it was, what's his face? Joe. Joe comes in and goes, oh my God, you're the superhuman guy. And then Sal comes in and goes, hey, you're the superhuman guy. And then Murr comes in and goes, hey, you're the superhuman guy. And the guy doesn't know that it's a show or anything. He's just trying to explain to Q, yeah, I actually was an athlete back in the day. And then all of a sudden, all these guys that are in on it go, oh my God, I recognize you. And the guy's just, his heart is full of wonder. He's so amazed and happy. And it's just like, I can't believe I'm being recognized. This is amazing. I saw a comment on the video I was watching of that, and someone said, now this is what a prank is meant to be. Making someone happy. Go, look. I get that the world is changing. Everyone's supposed to be nice all the time. But can we at least agree that the point of a prank is to pull a prank on someone and laugh at them and go, haha, I tabletopped you, haha, I pantsed you, haha, I sprayed you with the kitchen hose. No, the point of a good deed is to make someone laugh. But no, the point of a prank is... Did you see that? That was disgusting. It's too much talking. I might have to censor that out. The point of a prank is to make fun of someone and get one over on them and laugh in their downfall. push them in front of traffic and go, ha, 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 ha. You just got hit by a car. That's hilarious. Kick them in front of a subway train. Ha, 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 ha. It's not to be nice. It's not like, hey, dude, I actually talked to that girl at the bar and said, you're really attracted to her. And he goes, you did? I have a crush on that girl. What'd she say? And he goes, she said she has a crush on you too. Oh my God, you did? And then those two get married and you go, best prank ever. Both my friends are in love. That's not a prank. That's just you doing a nice thing. That's not a prank. That infuriates me because I've said this on the show. I'm sick of liars. I'm sick of hypocrites. That to me is a lie. You saying that the point of a prank is to be nice to someone, it's like, what do you do? Are you just being willfully ignorant or are you stupid? Are you aware that that's just wrong? What are you trying to push to make? Oh, everyone's got to be, you know what's cool? Being nice. No, it's not. Being nice is nice. I'm not against being nice, but I'm not going to pretend like, the coolest thing you can be? Good teammate. The coolest thing you could be? A role model for your little brother to look up to. Sorry, not true, not true. So I've talked about things on this show before where they feel honest to me. They feel like the things I'm saying, I'm like, how are we not all on the same page? Like even talking politics, which I don't really want to get into, but the reason I feel comfortable talking about it is because like, look, you can hate Trump, but how are we not on the same page that something he did, blah, 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 was a good thing? Like, I think you're just saying, for example, because everyone's so crazy. It's like, I just think you're saying he did this wrong because you hate him, which is fine, hate him. But don't say what he did was wrong. You're just saying that because you just don't like him. Fine, just don't like him, but leave it at that. Don't be like, actually, it was actually really bad that he changed the name to Gulf of Mexico. And I'm like, why? And it's like, well, I don't know. Okay, well then we're fine. I'm not saying that was good, by the way. I don't really care about the Gulf of Mexico thing. Or Gulf of America. I don't even think I got that joke right. But just, I don't know. I shouldn't have talked politics. But you know what I mean. I hate hypocrisy. I hate liars. And there's things that I think are just, I think we all agree on, but some people just refuse to say. Like if you're doing a stereotypical voice of a foreign person and you actually say it out loud and you go, hey, Chinese people sound like this. And you go, they don't sound like that. That's racist. I go, hey, I order Chinese food every week. The lady on the other end of the phone, that's how she talks. Like, I get if it's rude for me to do that, but like, don't say that's not how they talk. That is how they talk. Or that's how the people I'm imagining talk. Don't be like, oh, really? Well, I know someone who's a fourth generation Chinese person who's been in America her entire life. She doesn't talk like that. I'm like, well, right. Yeah, I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about like someone who's from China that moved here. We all know that that's how they talk. I'm not going to say anything more about any other foreign group of people, but you know what I mean. There's certain things where it's just like, wait a minute, how are we disagreeing about this? Anyway, I don't even know why the hell I bring this up. What was on the screen a moment ago that made me go on this whole rant? Something about impractical jokers, and now I'm talking about Chinese people and how they talk? Whoa, this show really takes a turn when you don't expect it. Oh, I guess it was something about the Hispanic guy, and I said something about gay, and then I kind of got myself in a hole that I needed to prove I was not homophobic. Yeah, I guess if you want to stereotype straight white guys, they're terrified of being called gay. Sure. I think that's honestly all I have, but it's been 1 hour and 4, and I promised you something at the beginning of the episode. I said I was going to treat you to something, so I'm going to take one more break, and we're going to get that all set up for you, and then we're going to go bye-bye. All right, everybody, we're back. Must be fun for you. These breaks are only like 2 seconds long. They're forever for me. I just sang like 7 renditions of Dean's Dream by the Dead Milkmen, but they all turned out terrible. The first one I forgot to resume the video when I do the pause and I go to the credit screen or whatever you want to call this screen. I forgot to hit resume. So I did a perfect version, if you can imagine. I'm not even exaggerating. It was the best one of like the 14 that I did. And I just kept trying to repeat it, replicate it, and finish the episode, but I couldn't do it. I've got 14 copies of it, so I think I'll put that on the Patreon if you guys, and you can even see my hair's all messed up. I was thrashing. Whoa, Look like emo Peter here. I don't like that at all. I'll put those on the Patreon. Maybe I'll put some more karaoke. Maybe I'll sit down tonight and just do a bunch of karaoke's because I'm unemployed still. And then I'll put those on the Patreon. So if you want to just see me sing that song from the beginning of the episode today, then you're more than welcome to go over to the Patreon. That'll be up there. I think that's all we had. I mean, we talked about quite a lot. I went fishing. We talked about... top 10 sports, women's sports. That was a fun one. We talked about rising ocean levels. We talked about men filling in their beards, which I think is gross. And I don't think it's inappropriate to say that. You guys were there for the episode. You know what we talked about. I mean, if you made it to the end and you thought this was fun, hey, go ahead and subscribe. I hate asking. If you're the kind of person like me who sees someone say, hey, subscribe, and you go, oh, this guy's a pansy, we hate him. Hey, I get it. I hate asking, but it's free, whatever. It's fun. If you like watching the show, subscribe so you can watch the next episode. These come out every week if you made it all the way to the end. Shout out to my number one fans. And we'll see you guys all next week with episode 15. Goodbye. Bye. Bye. Adios. Opposite konnichiwa. Guten Tag. Bye.